So, good morning, everyone. My report is all about city, one of the levels under LGU or local government unit. And let's examine first the history of our local government. So, in the Philippines, the cities, municipalities, and provinces of today evolved from the barrages of pre-Spanish times. The pueblos, cabildos of the Spanish colonial days, and the townships of the American regime. So during the Spanish conquest, the warring barangays were lacking of unity that made the Spaniards' conquest the Philippines easier. Gradually, the datos were shorn of their powers, and the Spaniards organized pueblos or the municipalities, cabildos as cities, and provincias as provinces. So the importance of local government was recognized by General Emilio Aguinaldo and Apolinario Mabini in their program of the government for the First Republic, Philippine Republic. Um, and the and they knew that if a strong and enduring Filipino nation was to be established, it must be able to maintain itself in all emergencies, and the whole political fabric must be well founded on the efficient system of local government. So, under the Malolos Constitution, local autonomy was made explicit in the introductory portion, which stipulated the organization and the powers of principal and municipal assemblies shall be governed by their respective laws. So, it means that these local government units, together with their leaders, have their own power to govern their respective community and people. They can execute and implement laws and policies to maintain peaceful, safe, and developed community. Okay, so let's proceed to the main topic, which is the city. So city, lungsod, or sometimes ciudad in Filipino and Tagalog, is a tier of local government in the Philippines. All Philippines cities are chartered cities. So when we say charter, it is the grant of authority or rights. It is a document by a country's legislative or sovereign power. So by which a body such as a city is founded in its rights and privilege defined, just like the city of Iloilo. For example, they can execute orders like no classes to both public and private to the extent of their territory because of the typhoon. So, without the order from the national government, since they are heavily affected by the calamity, while the other cities can continue their classes because they are not. Next, only an act of Congress can create or amend a city charter. With this city charter, Congress confers to a city certain powers that regular municipalities or even other cities may not have. Means no other than in the branches of the government can do that, but only the legislative body. So these are the classifications of the local government under the Code of 1991, Republic Act number 7160. So the classifications are highly urbanized cities, independent component cities, and component cities. So as of September 7, 2019, this is the latest data. There are 146 cities in the Philippines. So 33 of these are highly urbanized cities, 5 are independent component cities, with the rest being component cities of the respective provinces in which they are geographically located. These are the requirements of highly urbanized cities. So, cities with a minimum population of 200,000 inhabitants, as certified by the National Statistic Office, and with the latest annual income of at least 50 million pesos based on 1991 constant price, as certified by the City Treasurer. While for the component cities requirements with minimum of 150,000 inhabitants, certified as well by the National Statistic Office, with latest annual income of at least 20 million under the land area of 100 square kilometers. So cities which do not meet the above requirements shall be considered component cities of the province in which they are geographically located. If a component city is located within the boundaries of two or more provinces, such city shall be considered as component of the province of which it used to be a municipality. Next is the independent component cities. So these are the cities whose charters prohibits their voters from voting for the provincial elective officials. So there are independent component cities are independent of the province. So these are the five cities: Dagupan, Cotabato, Naga, Ormoc, and Santiago. Okay, so let's move on to the elected officials. So of course, the one who lead the city is the mayor, followed by the vice mayor in the Sangguniang Panglungsod as their legislative body. So the mayor is the chief executive officer of the city. He takes on a policy making role by recommending policies to the council, breaking tie votes, and vetoing legislation. He has the sole power to hire, suspend, and fire all municipal employees except the city attorney, municipal clerk, and administrator if one is employed. So the mayor also fulfills an executive role by seeing the laws are enforced and that city officers and employees properly do their jobs. Mayor do not make policy decision. However, they have strong influence on the policy making process in its resultant decisions. So while the role of the vice mayor serves as the presiding officer, means if the mayor is not around, then the vice mayor takes in charge. Okay, so next is the Sangguniang Panglungsod. So the Sangguniang Panglungsod as the legislative body of the city is mandated by the Local Government Code of 1991 to approve ordinances and resolutions. So the Local Government Code of 1991 governs the composition, powers, and function of the Sangguniang Panglungsod. The members of the Sangguniang Panglungsod, often referred as councilors, are either elected or serve in an ex officio capacity. So they regulate activities relative to the use of land, buildings, and structures within the city and approves ordinances which shall ensure the efficient and effective delivery of the basic services and facilities as provided for under Section 17 of the Local Government Code. So these are the function and responsibilities of the incumbent officers. So they are responsible to give livelihood programs to their people who can support themselves because of the lack of financial support. Next is they are also responsible to sustain the environment and the energy efficiency of the city as well as the quality of its service delivery. Next is spatial form and its infrastructure, then financial resources, and also, the last but not the least, the governance. So, under section 448, the role of the city consisting of more urbanized and developed barangays serves as a general purpose government for the coordination and delivery of basic, regular, and direct services and effective governance of the inhabitants within its territorial jurisdiction. So, good governance never depends upon laws but upon the personal qualities of those who govern. The machine of the government is always subordinate to the will of those who administer that machinery. So, the most important element of the government, therefore, is the method of choosing leaders. So, in other words, law is not the reason why a particular community is developed or underdeveloped. The public officials are accountable to the outcome of good or bad governance. So that is why people should also be vigilant and smart enough on choosing their leader to live in a better environment.